The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
And hello, everybody. Welcome into a Tuesday episode of Running Point on YSNLive.com. This is not a good start, right? As always, we are brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. And we're going to continue to do that. We want to thank Greenwood Chevrolet for being the presenting sponsor of Running Point. They've done a lot for us, and they've believed in this show. And they continue to do so in everything that we do at YSN as well. So if you've ever thanked YSN for what they do, make sure to also thank Greenwood Chevrolet. I'm going to pop them up in the top right-hand corner of the screen, so you know where to go if you're in the market for a new or used vehicle. You can pop in to Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Once again, they go the extra mile for you. We have a good show today. We're going to recap the soccer action that happened yesterday. It was boys soccer tournament time, and a lot of great games. A couple of overtime matchups. One thrilling double overtime matchup between two heated rivals. A lot of fun soccer, boys soccer last night, and there was one regular season volleyball game. We'll get to that too. So let's recap the action from last night. Let's jump into the scoreboard on ysnlive.com. As always, the scoreboard here on the website is brought to you by Burnett Pool, Spas, and Hot Tubs. Let me scroll up so you can see that wonderful logo there, presented by Burnett Pool, Spas, and Hot Tubs. The YSN scoreboard is a great tool for the fans, whether you're at a game in person and you just want to check a quick score of a game that is going on around your area or around your conference, or maybe one of your rivals, or maybe you're watching one of our broadcasts and you don't want to go off the screen for too long during a commercial break. Quick way to do it is to go to ysnlive.com/scores, and you'll find the YSN scoreboard here, brought to you by Burnett Pool, Spas, and Hot Tubs, updated every night for your convenience. So let's go into boys soccer, playoff soccer last night. And to start things off, it was Liberty getting the best of Brookfield, 4-3, the final score there. Salem downs Alliance at home, so the Aviators can't hold up to the Quakers. 2-0, the final score there. Madison, they beat Conneaut, knocked them out of the tournament, 8-0, the final score there. Southeast ends Garfield season 3-0, the final score. The Pirates get the win. We go to Grand Valley. They lose to Wycliffe 5-0. Campbell Memorial goes and beats Heartland Christian 7-2, the final score there. We'll scroll over to the last row after we're done with these first three. Matthews beats LeBray 3-1, final score. Canfield all over Niles in round 1, 10-0, the score there. Field falls to Orange. Orange gets the win, 5-1. Orange moving on as they get the upset on the road. West Branch takes care of Ravenna, 8-2, the final score on that one. Waterloo and Waynedale play a tough one, but it is Waynedale that edges out the Vikings 3-2. And then in a double overtime thriller, East Liverpool beats Beaver Local for the first time this season, 2-1. Potters get the win in double OT. East Liverpool was previously 0-3 against the Beavers this season. 2 regular season losses, 1 loss in the OVAC tournament as well. And when you're 0-3 against a team and you get in the tournament, everything's on the line, and they say it's hard to beat a team twice. That's probably doubles the percentage of toughness when you have to beat a team 4 times, right? So Beaver Local, they fall to their rivals, and that's an upset for East Liverpool on the road against a team that really did have their number this season. And that's probably why Beaver Local decided to pick that bracket. They had the opportunity to pick what bracket they wanted to go in. They were a high enough seed, and they decided to go into this one. East Liverpool follows them, and they probably felt kind of confident because they had played well against them all season. But in the back of your head, you got to be thinking, like, how many times can we really beat a team, a good team, before they sneak up on us? And East Liverpool got that done last night. Let's girls playoff soccer. We did not get a score from Edison and Bishop Rosecrans, but we did get a score from regular season volleyball. Lisbon gets to sweep over Wyndham to win in the regular season, go to 10-11 and take some momentum into tournament time. We're going to scroll over and get this final row over here in boys soccer. Ursuline beats Fairless quite easily, 7-0, the final score there. Pie Valley beats Perry 4-1. We saw Girard edge out Lakeview 1-0. They needed every bit of that. This one was a overtime matchup. Girard scored a goal in overtime to win that one 1-0. And you'll see a highlight of it on our social media as well. Girard shared it. I want to take and go watch it and get this kid's name right that made the amazing play. Andrew Whitfield has a game-winning goal in overtime, and it was a pretty good play. You get to see him on the sideline. He completely jukes out the Lakeview defender, and then you see a breakaway straight through the middle, through a Lakeview defender and into the goal on the left side of the net. It was a great play by Girard in overtime in Arrowhead Stadium. Crazy things happened in the tournament, and it had to be. I mean, it was a pretty lengthy. He shot it from like the 12-yard line of the football field. Obviously, the goal goes back to the end zone. So probably like a 22-yard kick for a goal. I mean, that's a pretty solid kick from Andrew Whitfield in the clutch moments of the game. 1-0. Girard gets the win there. And then in the big rivalry in Ashtabula County, Edgewood gets the win over Jefferson in Jefferson. This was another upset on the road for Edgewood, 3-1, the final score there. We go back to talking to the East Liverpool game. I want to give the shout out to some of the key contributors to East Liverpool's win. Preston Kerr, he got the first goal of the game. About 1 minute and 11 seconds left in regulation to tie it up. And then in overtime, he got the assist as he got the ball to Wyatt McCoon, who became the hero for East Liverpool. He netted in the goal in double overtime. Preston Kerr gets the assist. They did that with about 1 minute and 41 seconds left in the second overtime, and that's how they won. So Kerr gets a goal to tie things up with regulation ticking away, and then he gets an assist at the end of the second overtime to get the win. What a day for Preston Kerr, I'll tell you that much. East Liverpool gets the win there in double overtime, and they move on to play Steubenville next. They'll go to Steubenville. So all in all, really good soccer. Like I said, some overtime thrillers, some upsets, and then you mix in some games that were absolutely dominated in Canfield. One of those games, let's dive deeper into the recap of Canfield's night. 10-0 over Niles. They got 4 goals from Ethan Molichak. We heard from him on the show. Drew Snyder had 3 goals. Ryan Dangle had a goal. Evan Harina had a goal. And then Nick Atsis had a goal as well. Assists were from Molachak, Andrew Battaglia got a goal. Micah Friedel got a goal, and then Harina got an assist as well. Sorry, all those players got an assist. Molachak got an assist. Battaglia got an assist. Micah Friedel got an assist, and then Evan Harina got an assist as well. So 10 goals in one game. Molachak has not just a hat trick, but I forget why we did the research one day. I forget what a 4 spot in soccer is called. But, forget the hat trick, but Drew Snyder gets the hat trick. Molachak gets 4 goals, and they add 3 more as well. Canfield advances to the sectional final. They'll play Edgewood, who got the win over Jefferson on Saturday at Canfield. That's going to be a 4 p.m. kickoff time for the Cardinals as they advance into the sectional round of the playoffs. So what we're going to do next, now that we've recapped the action from last night, we are going to go into a player profile section of the show. I know we usually do that after the break, but we're going to change things up a little bit today. We'll do a player profile. We'll take a break after that. Then we'll come back. We'll preview the volleyball that's going on tonight. Volleyball tournament starts tonight as well. Of course, this is the start of the tournament time. We had Lisbon finish up their regular season. That was the official end of regular season action. Tournament starts tonight. We'll preview all of that stuff, the games that are going on tonight on Running Point after the player profile and a break. So here we go. Lydia Campbell from Crestview is who we're going to feature today. Had Crestview on yesterday, and we'll just kind of double up on them as they get ready to start their tournament run tonight. They have a matchup with Poland at home. Lydia Campbell is another player like Katie Lissy that goes under the radar but is so important to the team. Because when Abby Imch is in the front row, everyone knows what she's about, right? The kills, the blocks. She's one of the best players in the area, but people forget she's only in the front row for half the rotation, right? You rotate her out of the front row, she's in the back row, and you need someone else to hold the fort down as a middle blocker in the rotations where she's in the back. And Lydia Campbell does a really good job of that. Crestview doesn't lose too much. When Abby Imch rotates out of the back row, Lydia Campbell has done a really good job this year of getting blocks. I mean, she has a handful of blocks this year and also doing everything that you need out of a middle blocker. So she's a great player for Crestview. One of those ones that has stepped into the limelight this year. With so many players returning from a great season a year ago, there was little room for players to step in, but Lydia Campbell has done that really well. So here's an interview with Lydia Campbell from Crestview on Running Point. Anthony Hartwig here with a Crestview volleyball player profile. I am joined by junior Lydia Campbell. Lydia, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. My first question for you, obviously, this Crestview team just won their 8th consecutive conference championship, 4th in the MVAC. You're a part of this dominant era of Crestview volleyball. What's it been like for you?
It's been a really fun experience just being out there with the girls. It's just really fun to play volleyball with them, and it's been really cool and just absolutely insane.
You know, a lot of these faces we knew coming into the season, but you're one of the ones that really stepped up this year, took a bigger role on the team, and has really shined in it as a middle blocker, rotating when Abby Imch goes into the back row. What's it been like for you to take a bigger role on this team and to be able to, like you said, share the floor with so many great athletes?
At first, not gonna lie, it was really intimidating because they're such good players. Everybody on the court is so good. And so it was kind of intimidating at first, but then it just became really fun, and everybody out there is just so easy to play with, and I know that they have my back out on the court.
Was there a moment that you can remember where it went from intimidating to just like, you were confident, you knew you could do it and fun instead of intimidating?
Probably just after like the first couple of games when like I would get a block or get a kill and everybody would just like jump on top of me and like pounce me and just really support me.
It's a great feeling, and I know one of the things I want to talk about are the seniors that you do have on the team, because They're showing you what kind of leader you want to be next year. So what kind of things have you learned from the seniors on the team this year that you're going to take into your senior year next year?
They really just show like how to be like really supportful and like just supporting of everybody on the team. And even like if you mess up, like just don't get like mad at the person. Just like tell them like, oh, hey, it's okay. It's okay to mess up. And then they just really bring like a light, fun attitude to the gym. And that's something that makes it a lot easier to play.
You know, a lot of people see the domination from Crestview and think you just roll out there and you just do it. And that's not the case. You guys put in a lot of work. What kind of things can you say about the team off the court and on the practices, the work that's put in to make this team as good as it is?
Everybody's giving like 110% during practice, and we're constantly working hard. We're constantly learning new things and getting better. But then like on and off the court, we're still like friends, and we're hanging out with each other and just having a good time and laughing with each other.
Yeah, we see how hard you guys play when it's game time. Take us through a typical practice for Crestview. What does Coach Hour's practices kind of look like?
It can depend on the day. Most days we warm up, we condition a little, and then we do some positional training, and then we do some team stuff in which we go through lineups, work on just like some things from games in the past that we need to work on. Like, yeah.
For you personally, what is the hardest part of a Coach Hour practice? What's the one part of a practice that you're like, oh man, might not get through this?
Probably like serve, receive, and like passing stuff, because I'm not like used to it and they expect so much, and I mean, as they should, but it can be a little intimidating to be receiving serves from like Grace and not getting them perfect, but trying my best still.
You know, we see Coach Hour on the sidelines for games. We know what her game day mentality and her game day personality is like. For all those fans out there that only get to see during the games, what are some things about Coach Hour that maybe they don't know that you guys get to see in practice and off the court as well?
She really just, she doesn't like yell at us, and she's like really supportive of us and just helps us out. And yeah.
Every coach has one little pet peeve, one thing that you know, like if we're doing this, it's going to make her a little bit angry. What do you think is Coach Hour's pet peeve with this team?
That's a really good question. Her biggest pet peeve would probably be I'm not quite sure. We're kind of a rowdy little group sometimes.
I know. Speaking of the group, you know, you guys have all these theme nights that you're putting together and the parents get involved and it's always fun. What's that been like for just team chemistry to be able to have that kind of moments with your team on game days?
It's really fun. It really brings the team together more. It's a really nice team bonding when we're just all dressed up in crazy outfits. And then we look across to all the fans and they're all dressed up in crazy outfits, and we're dancing before games and dancing during games. It's really insane, and it helps really bring the team together.
What has been your favorite theme so far that you guys have had?
Probably the Barbie day, when we all dressed up as different Barbies and we have Barbie boxes in the gyms. That was a really fun theme.
If someone came to you and said, hey, the next theme's on you, you have to pick one, what do you think is something that you guys haven't done yet that you would really like to see?
Something that I would be like a senior citizen night where everybody just dress up as like old people, and I think that would be really funny.
I like that. It would definitely take the pressure off some of the parents.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Let's talk about you off the court a little bit. You know, obviously you're a great volleyball player. We see you put so much time into the sport. What other things do you like to put your time into? What are some of your other interests outside of volleyball?
I'm on the school's bowling team, and I do the school's musical, and I work at Dairy Queen.
Bowling. Let's talk about bowling first. Let's go other sport. When you transition from volleyball into bowling, what's that transition like for you, and what got you into being on the bowling team?
The transition's really easy because volleyball, I mean, you put a lot of work and it's a very like time consuming thing and it can lead to a lot of stress. But bowling is just kind of a fun little thing that I like to do. It's free bowling, as we say. And my family got me into it because both my siblings were on the bowling team. And so when I got to high school, I was just like, oh, I'll go on the bowling team too.
When you think of, having a sport like that where it's a little bit more, like you said, freeing and it's not as pressure filled as volleyball, what's that do for you after such a long, grueling, pressure filled volleyball season?
It can kind of just like help me like relax a little and take like the pressure off and take like more stress off. And it helps me just like relax and just have fun. And
Now you also said you're in the school's musicals. What has been your favorite part of being involved with the drama club and the musicals that the school's put on so far?
it's really just like the connections you make and the people you meet doing it. You get to see different sides of people that like you might not have seen before. And you just really make friendships that last a lifetime.
Are you a big theater person? Do you have a favorite musical out there that you really enjoy?
Um, I really like the musical Beetlejuice. It's a good musical. I really like it.
What's the favorite one that you think Crestview has put on so far in your high school career?
Probably Anastasia would be my favorite that we've put on. It was a really good musical, really well done.
Let's talk about, obviously you're only a junior, but you have to start thinking about the future a little bit. You're going to be a senior next year. You got to start thinking about what you want to do after high school. Have those thoughts even started to enter your mind yet on, what kind of your future plans would be?
Um, a little bit, but I also try not to think about it because it can be really stressful. And so I kind of just push the thoughts away sometimes.
Push them out of here. Get out of here. You guys are undefeated. You've only lost one set all year. And people are just asking, how do you keep that level of consistency and, sheer dominance throughout the whole season? From your perspective, you're in the team, you're in the practices, you're in the games. What is it about this team that lets them not just win every game, but just really dominate every game they play?
Like I said before, like the team is really just like a family. So going out there and playing is less of like, it's not so stressful. It's very much just like we're just having fun out there. We're just playing as a team. We're playing as a family, and the chemistry is insane. And yeah.
You guys are trying to become the first team to get to state for Crestview volleyball. What would that mean to you if you guys were able to go down to Barberton and get a win in regionals and punch your ticket to Wright State?
That would be absolutely incredible. I mean, I went to Barberton last year with the team. I didn't play, but I was on the bench. And then my freshman year, I went down to Barberton. And so it would just be really cool to like get out of there and to win a game there and just be insane.
I mean, forget about state. I mean, like you said, you didn't play last year in Barberton. So if you guys are lucky enough to get into districts and win districts, what's that going to be like for you just to be a part of this whole postseason hoopla and to be able to play games that it's win or go home? And what excites you the most about being a part of that this year?
I saw how much fun everybody was having on the court last year. I feel like just like the excitement out there seemed really fun, and it's something that I'm excited to be a part of. And I really hope that we can go far this year so I can continue to be part of that excitement.
This is our first time talking to you so far in your career. So I want to ask you a little bit about your family. What do you think is special about your family, and what are some of your favorite things about your family life off the court of volleyball?
My family's all really supportive. I have 2 siblings in college that I really just look up to, and I just like strive to be like them. And my family, they're all hard workers and just really loving and caring.
two older siblings that are both in college, which means you get to lean on their experience. What's that like to just look up to them and to be able to, ask them for advice, whatever it may be, whether it be in life or in school or even in sports? What's that been like for you to have the older siblings that you can look up to?
It's been really helpful because if I have a question about something, whether that's homework or just like relationships or like just like life advice in general, I'm able to ask them because they've lived through it, they've experienced it all. So they usually have some answer that can make me feel a little bit better about it.
This Crestview volleyball team, especially the varsity, they're all big role models because of the success you've had. You included. Everyone that steps on that court, you see little girls in the program, they want to be like you. They want to be where you're at one day. What's that like for you to kind of realize that because of the success this team is having, you have a bunch of younger kids looking up to you saying that they want to be where you're at when they grow up?
It's honestly something that I never imagined like would happen. I never pictured that I would have little girls like 5 years old looking up to like me and seeing just like, oh, I want to play volleyball when I'm older. So it's really cool to see like just like the community like looking up and just supporting.
Who did you look up to when you were 5 years old? Who were some people that you wanted to be like when you grew up?
Well, I wanted to be like my mom when I grew up, and I wanted to be like some professional athletes when I grew up. And just a lot of older athletes that I was really just admired.
I like that you said your mom. As you've gotten older, how close to your mom's personality do you think you are? I mean, are you pretty alike with your mom, or do you think you're a little bit different than your mom?
I'd say I'm pretty like my mom. We both have similar personalities, similar just ways of going with life.
All right, before we let you go, Lydia, I want to give you the chance to thank your support system. I know you have a lot of people in your corner. I want you to take as much time as you want to give them all a shout out and let them know in this interview how much their support means to you.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank like all of my teammates that I've had through not only this year, but past years for all sports, not just volleyball. I would like to thank my family for just always supporting me and always giving me rides to practices when I couldn't drive. And then I'd like to thank all like the coaches that I've ever had because they've kept pushing me and they've made me work harder. And then just like the community, the students, the families, the friends, they come out to our games and they support us and they're cheering. And honestly, we wouldn't be anything without them. We would just be some volleyball team playing.
Lydia, we want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come and join us and talk to us about your junior season. We wish you the best of luck going forward, and we can't wait to talk to you in real soon.
Thank you.
That was Lydia Campbell from Crestview. A great interview. We want to thank her for her time being able to come on with us. And if you missed a part of that or you wanted to see it, it's in its entirety. That interview can be found at ysnlive.com. It can also be found on YSN's YouTube channel. If you're watching on our YouTube, hey, how you doing? Thanks for coming on. Would you mind hitting that subscribe button? If you feel so obliged to, subscribe to our channel. That helps us reach the algorithm. Our subscribes and our likes really help our YouTube channel. So if you're watching on YouTube and you feel so obliged to, please hit that subscribe button that you see. And then right next to it, hit that notification bell so you never miss any of the video content that we put up there. We have player profiles up there. We have coaches' corners. We have game highlights. We have post-game interviews. A lot of fun stuff that you can find on our YouTube page. And it's pretty much updated daily. So you never want to miss a minute. The YouTube algorithm can be really wonky, so you don't want to miss a minute of anything that we post up there. So make sure that if you are subscribed and if you're subscribing, you hit that notification bell so you never miss any of the videos that we put up on our channel. You don't want to, trust me. We'll take a quick break. Be back. On Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Flynn.
Hi, this is Steve Rossetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience, WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
Go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats. Go Dogs. Go Tigers.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Nestled here in the beauty and splendor of Mill Creek Metro Parks are two of America's best golf courses, as selected by Golf Week magazine. Ranked number 9 in Ohio by TripAdvisor. Come play like a pro on these award-winning Donald Ross-designed courses. Enjoy a round with your kids and unwind with your favorite food and drinks in the grill room. For championship golf, look no further than your backyard. Mill Creek Golf Course.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local, independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
The feeling when my hands are on the piano, it's become comforting. It's somewhere that I can express myself. I go to Youngstown State University and my passion is playing music. YSU is allowing me to take what I love and turn it into a career and do it every single day of my life. I'm Alyssa, and I'm YN proud.
My guy keeps it 100% of the time. He wants all 100, won't settle for 99. And it's more than stats, because there's people in those numbers. And I was one of the lost sheep. I'm so glad he cares for all 100. I'm 100% safe, 100% free, 100% love. I can be 100% me. He gave all 100 when they put him up on that tree. That's 100% passion for 100% free. So if I play in front of 100, or if I play in front of 2, there's an audience of 1 getting 100% of what I can do.
And welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com. It is a Tuesday episode, and we are always brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Speaking of Greenwood, I think we're all guilty of online shopping on the lunch break, right? You know, before the show, I have bought stuff online. That's my lunch break. And I'm sure maybe you're listening on your lunch break, and maybe you watch Running Point where you're slipping through Amazon. I don't know. But why not use that lunch break to shop for a new car? or a used car, whatever one you want. Vehicles like the 2020 Chevy Equinox are waiting for you to purchase or test drive. This vehicle and a bunch of others can be found on the Greenwood Chevrolet online inventory. Make sure to visit it at greenwoodchevy.com. And that's just one other way that Greenwood Chevrolet goes the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. Let's pop into the scoreboard brought to you by Burnett Pool Spas and Hot Tubs and see what games are going on tonight in volleyball postseason on the Tuesday that we have for us, October 17th, 2023. Once again, this scoreboard brought to you by Burnett Pool Spas and Hot Tubs. And if you go on it tonight, you'll be able to see the live scores. If you're at a game or maybe you're just sitting at home and you want to know what scores are happening. First off, at Ursuline, Alliance and West Branch playing each other. And this West Branch team, they've seen Alliance twice already. Alliance has struggled this year. This is definitely one of those high seed versus low seed games, and West Branch should be able to take care of business. One of the things that I love about West Branch's volleyball team this year is just how balanced they are. Like, you're not going to find one hitter that's blowing you away with 400 plus kills on the season, but they have, that three hitters with 100 plus can be even more deadly than one hitter with 300 plus, because you never know where it's going to come. They have a really good right side attack that they like to use with Showalter, and you have to have a good setter to do that. They, of course, have one, and then good defense in the back row as well. They're just a really well-balanced volleyball team. They don't do anything except, they don't have anything that's, eye-popping. They're fantastic at, but they do a lot of things good. And once again, sometimes when you do a lot of things good, it can be better than doing one thing really, really great, especially in the sport of volleyball. If you have, I've said it before, if you have a really good hitter but have average defense and an average setter, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And the same thing can be said with all three of those positions. If you have really good defense but have a average setter and average hitters, it doesn't really matter if you put the ball in system or not. If you have really good setter but average hitters and average defense, and the setter's going to be running around like crazy trying to get balls back in system, and she's not going to have hitters that can take advantage of the balls that are. So, yes, West Branch doesn't have that one player that's just killing the world like Brunner was last year, but they have multiple players that are just fine, that are really good, and they're a really balanced volleyball team. I like that. I like those kind of teams in tournament time. So I'm excited to see what West Branch could do. This sectional in Ursuline is really interesting because you're going to have West Branch Alliance in game one. And then I'm not going to go in order because they're down there at the bottom, second to the bottom in the third row, Canfield Ursuline. But that one's going to be at Ursuline as well. This one's interesting, I think, to me, too, because Ursuline has won a lot of games this year. They have talent. Teresa Garano has played really, really well this year. But you look at this Canfield team and you think, well, they're 9-11, and on paper, 16 wins versus 9 wins. It should be a day for Ursuline. But at the same time, you have to remember Canfield's healthy. They had a long stretch of games where they weren't healthy. They had 7 different injuries this year at one point of the season or the other. So they're finally, everyone's there. And a healthy Canfield team is different than the Canfield team that we saw all season. There's so many more things they can do when they have all their hitters. Lily Weaver was out for a while. She's a big right side. Jenna Treveri was out for a while. She gets a lot of blocks in the middle. Carly Fleming spent some time out, and she's their main center. So, you get all those players back all on the floor at once. It's what Canfield was expected to be this season. And then you'll also look at Ursuline's schedule and you think they've had some opportunities against some against some really good teams this year. They've been able to fall just short in those games. So you wonder, if this game gets close or down to 5, can they battle back and win that kind of game? It's going to be really, really fun. both these teams, I think, when they're healthy, are really evenly matched, and now Canfield's healthy. Some other games tonight that we're looking at: Cheney traveling to Massillon Jackson to play the Polar Bears. Edison will go to Sandy Valley. Garrettsville Garfield, who is a 15-win team, may feel a little slighted in the seedings because 15 wins or not, they have to go to Rootstown and play there. That's a tough draw for Garfield. And then had a solid year in that MVAC. And obviously that MVAC was really, really good. Their last place teams had 6 wins. And I know that, 6 wins, but there's a lot of conferences in this area that the last place team has 1 or 2 wins. So when your last place teams still have 6, and then the rest, you have multiple teams with double-digit wins. In fact, I think Garrettsville, Garfield, Camel, Crestview, Newton Falls all have double-digit wins in that MVAC gray tier. So it tells you how good that conference had been doing this year with 4 teams with double-digit wins. So Garfield, they're going to have to go on the road, but they have been a really good volleyball team this year. They lost a lot, so they had some time to figure that out. But Montana McGranahan is a very good hitter for Garfield, and she's going to try to muster them up and beat Rootstown. I'll tell you what, when it comes to strength of schedule, edge to Garfield by a lot. Rootstown does not play the schedule that Garfield does, and I just went over the league. That's enough, but then you look at the out-of-conference schedule that Garfield puts together. That's top-notch as well. So Garfield had a 15-win season against a really, really good schedule. So even if they're going on the road and Rootstown is a higher seed, I think this game right here is one you could watch for an upset alert where Garfield's going to Rootstown. Newton Falls got to be careful with this Heartland team. They've had a lot of momentum the second half of the season. They're another team kind of like Garfield where they had to figure some things out. They lost a couple of seniors that meant so much to them last year, and they had to find out their identity. I think that's why you see teams like Heartland and teams like Garfield play much better the second half of the season than they did the first half. So Heartland is a dangerous team for Newton Falls. I think this could be a very competitive game in Tigertown as well. And then I'm actually watching this game too. Jackson Milton, middle of the season, you would have never thought that you're going to be watching one of their tournament games as something that could be competitive. They just were not playing good volleyball. They had like 2 wins halfway through. But the last 2 to 3 weeks of the season, they've racked 5 wins together, and they've started to play winning volleyball. They're starting to not make their unforced mistakes that any team would be able to beat. And I think they're starting to put things together, which makes them dangerous against a Badger team that is really, really good, but is struggling right now. You look at them, they're on a 5-game losing streak, so they are stumbling into the playoffs. This is a dangerous time for Badger. You're stumbling and you're playing a team that is trending in the right direction. So it's going to be interesting to see if Jackson Milton can go to Badger and get the upset. But Badger, of course, does have the pedigree, does have the double-digit wins, has proven that they're a good volleyball team this year. So wouldn't be surprised either way. I'm interested in that matchup in Badger. Liberty going to Camel Memorial. This will be round 3 as an MVAC grade tier matchup. Liberty is 0-2 this year against Camel. Lakeside hosting Madison, trying to get a tournament win to stack up. This Lakeside team has had a tough year. They're a proud program. They had 20 wins a year ago, but they lost so much talent. And they've tried to find ways to win, but they only have 6 wins in the season. Still get to host and still could get a big tournament win to boost momentum into next year for Lakeside. Poland, they go to Crestview, a tough task for the Bulldogs, of course. Crestview is one of the best teams in the state. In fact, they're ranked 4th in the state in Division 3. By the way, another team in that top 4 is in their district, Mineral Lake Catholic. It shows you how tough that Division 3 district is. Lakeview is also state ranked, who's in that district as well. Crestview's in the opposite bracket of Mineral Lake Catholic, but they will have to possibly deal with Lakeview down the road to get out of districts. Western Reserve starting their run as they will face Valley Christian at home tonight. We already talked about Canfield and Ursuline. We go to Dalton going to LeBray. LeBray, another solid 16-win season for them. Riley McDonough, great hitter, do everything for LeBray. Last year, she led the team in kills, assists, and digs. This year, though, I think they've taken some pressure off her plate with excuse me, some pressure off her plate, which lets her do a lot more on the floor. She doesn't have to set anymore because Shelby Bragg came up and started to really set well for them. And then you have Taylor Burns on the outside as well. They got some really consistent help out of Riley McDonough. It's not the Riley McDonough show anymore in LeBray, so she's able to just let loose and be a very good volleyball player, which she is. And we're going to continue to see her throughout the sports seasons as well because she's an excellent basketball player, and she's also a very good softball player. So trying to extend her senior season in volleyball against Dalton tonight, and LeBray, a big favorite in this one. Howland going to field. Tough task for the Tigers. They did rack up a couple of wins down the stretch, though. They were a 4-win team for a long time this season. They racked up 4 wins down the stretch. They're now an 8-win team. We'll see if that momentum can carry them into an upset at field. Southern Local is going to try to start their tournament run tonight in a big way against a conference foe. Surprisingly, just the second game tonight that's an conference. Well, nope, third. I forgot West Branch Alliance. That EBC always trips me up because only 2 of those teams are YSN schools. But West Branch Alliance, then you got Liberty, Campbell, and now this one as conference matchups in the tournament. It doesn't always work that way, but some years we get like nothing but conference matchups. Round 3 between Southern and Latonia. That'll be in Salineville as the Indians try to take a big first step. Lowville going to Maplewood, and this is a big opportunity for Lowville. They have 10 wins this year, double-digit wins. And you can say what you will about the Rockets. Maybe they're not the best team in the MVAC Scarlet tier, but they are competitive. They are scrappy. They have some really good players, young players too. So Lowville is starting to put things together on the volleyball court, and I think they have a chance to go and beat Maplewood tonight. I would not be surprised if this one ends up in an upset for the Rockets. Orange going to Copley as the Lions trying to get a big tournament win. Then Waterloo traveling to Wycliffe tonight. So Waterloo versus Wycliffe, and those games all happening in the tournament. Win or go home. This is the start of the sectional. Sectionals will be all week. They'll go. The teams that play tonight will have their sectional championships on Thursday, and the teams that play tomorrow will have their sectional championships on Saturday. Tonight looks like it's Division 1 and 3, and tomorrow is 2 and 4. And then that'll be, of course, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Saturday. And then next week, districts will all be on Tuesday and Thursday for all divisions. So next week's the big one where you start to crown district champions. Boys playoff soccer tonight. You have 3 matchups all in Division 1. Fitch will be traveling to Warren Harding, Boardman traveling to Massillon, Washington, and Lakeside traveling to Walsh Jesuit. So all 3 of our YSN teams in Division 1 soccer trying to get an upset on the road, and we hope that one or multiple of them can. I think Boardman boys have had a good second half of the season. I always look for tournament teams that are peaking at the right time because a lot of these teams get seen on record alone and maybe a little bit of research into their schedule, but coaches are not – this isn't a knock. They don't have the time to dive into, what a team's doing now, what they look like compared to what they've been, and the seeds aren't always necessarily the most accurate in the world. So if I do say, that's something that is underseeded, I'm not knocking the coaches. I believe that the coaches are doing their best job to fairly seed while they're also putting all their time into their team. But at the same time, it's a formula that leaves some teams underseeded. And I think Boardman, they have had a good second half of the year. They could go to Massillon and get an upset. We saw Fitch be fairly competitive with Canfield just a little bit ago, about a week ago on their senior night. I think they made it 2-0. So they held that Canfield offense that we saw score 10 goals last night to 2. So their defense is playing really well. They're traveling to Warren Harding. And then, Lakeside, another team that's had a good second half of the season. So all these teams striding at the right times, trying to go on the road and get upsets in boys soccer. So there are 3 soccer matchups happening tonight, and then all this volleyball sectional happening as well. So it should be a fun night in the area. Want to remind people that are looking for tournament broadcasts on YSN for non-football, soccer, volleyball. We are only going to be broadcasting games that get sponsored, and that is due to the fees brought down by the OHSAA for us to pay them to broadcast these games. If you want your team's tournament run to be covered, you're going to have to talk to people in your community or your athletic department, find a way to get that sponsored. We'd love to come down and broadcast, but obviously because of the OHSAA, we have to do things a little bit differently, and we can't just freely hop on the games like we would in the regular season. So if games get sponsored, we will definitely try to get someone there, and we'll keep the public updated as soon as possible. I know Wellsville has their first tournament game for volleyball locked in, so Wellsville will be covered. We already had Canfield girls covered on Saturday, so we are willing to do tournament games. They just have to be sponsored by a business or a community member or whatever it may be. We don't care who does the sponsoring. We just have to have some help with the fees that the OHSAA puts on us to broadcast the games. And we also, of course, have to give our announcers a little bit of the cut to make the trip down there on usually short notice, because usually these sponsorships come, a day before the game, and you have to be like, hey, can you go do this game? Yes. And our announcers have been really good at stepping up at that. So props to them. Props to our announcers, props to our community. So that being said, I think that's going to end today's episode of Running Point. We did a good job recapping the soccer action from last night. Congratulations to all the teams that won. Of course, the bittersweet part of tournament time is we have to say goodbye to the teams that lost. Want to congratulate all of them on a wonderful season and wish them the best luck in whatever they're doing in the winter and spring. We hope to see you back on the basketball court, wrestling mat, baseball field, or softball field if you're one of the teams that got eliminated. And then we also wish everyone good luck tonight in volleyball in their tournament as their tournament starts. We want clean volleyball. We want healthy volleyball, please. And enjoy going out to these tournament games. And then we'll see you back tomorrow from 1 to 2. Scotty Mincher, Brian Tolnar, both back on the show. We're going to talk about some state golf. Warren JFK Golf brought home a state championship. So we're going to be talking about that. And then we have a couple of more states to go because obviously the lower divisions played and now the upper divisions play this weekend. So we'll recap the one state tournament and then we'll preview the next one as we get Brian and Scotty back on the show. Until then, I'm Anthony Hartwig. Thank you so much for tuning in to Running Point. As always,